Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be working on page 241 and 242. The title of our lesson today is called Comparing with More, Most, Less, and Least. Let's look at the top of our page. It says, an adjective can compare nouns or pronouns. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing, and adjectives are used to compare nouns or pronouns. Short adjectives, like we studied yesterday, you just add an ER or an EST to the end, while long adjectives, though, use the word more, most, or less, and least to compare. This first sentence right here, snowstorms are less forceful than blizzards. That's where they inserted the word less in front of the word forceful in this comparison. The word than, signals a comparison between snowstorms and blizzards. The adjective forceful is just too long to add ER to it without making the word difficult to pronounce. Let's look at this sentence right here. Snow was cleared more quickly on the main roads than in the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Dangerous is an adjective that describes avalanches compared to all other snowy weather conditions. So let's look right here. It says, an adverb can be used to compare actions. Remember, we talked about that yesterday also. It just makes sense. Adverbs, it has the word verb in there, would be used to compare actions. And what are actions? They're verbs. So short adverbs, not ending with an ly, add an er or an est. We did that yesterday. But long adverbs, what do? You use more, most, or less, least to compare actions. Snowstorms, we're right here on this sentence right here. Snowstorms occur less frequently in Alabama than in Vermont. The adverb frequently describes how often snowstorms occur. Less is used to compare the frequency of snowstorms in states. Snow was cleared more quickly on the main roads than on the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Quickly is an adverb that describes how the snow was cleared on the main roads compared to the secondary roads in Merrimack County. Do not add an ER or an EST at the end of an adjective or adverb when more, most, or less, and least is used. Let's look at the correct way and the incorrect way. Right here you have the correct way. The strongest winds blew across the lake. This is correct. You would not say the most strongest winds blew across the lake. You already have that strong comparison right here with just the word strongest. You do not have to add this most in front of it. All right, so let's look at the next example. The correct usage is the most frigid weather happens in January. Okay, the most frigid. You would not say the frigidest weather happens in January. That's just too difficult to say. So the correct way is to say the most frigid weather happens in January. There's a little reminder that we need to pay attention to right here. It says use less and least in the same manner as more and most before longer adjectives and adverbs. We're going to move down to our guided practice. Underline the correct adjective or adverb form. Okay, that's pretty simple. Let's look at this. The biting winds during the storm were the harmfulest or the most harmful. Which one sounds correct? Yes, it's the most harmful. So let's underline this. Number 2, frostbite is less common in Georgia than in Minnesota, or frostbite is least common in Georgia than in Minnesota. Okay, so here's where you got to pay attention to, are you comparing two things or more than two things? We're comparing only two things. So since we're comparing two things, it's less common. Okay, so right here we're going to underline this thing, this comparison right here. Number 3, the blizzard of 1866 was one of the toughest storms ever, or one of the most tough storms ever. Yes, it is toughest. The blizzard of 1866 was one of the toughest storms ever. The comparison here is comparing this blizzard to all the other blizzards that someone has gone through. So it's the toughest. So let's move on down. It says write the correct form of the adjective or adverb. Again, this is written in blue, these words, and it says the correct form of these words. You're not going to change this. It's still going to have the form beautiful in here. And this is going to have the form of snowy in here, some form of it. Okay, so number 4, the first snowfall was, then the last. The first snowfall was more beautiful than the last. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense. So let's write more beautiful. Okay, number 5. January is blank month in Jackson, Wyoming. All right, so let's think about this for a second. The month of January compared to all the other months. So, are there more than 2 months in a year? Yes, there are more than 2 months in a year. So, you're going to compare, it's going to be more than 2. So January is the snowiest month in Jackson, Wyoming. So snowy ends with a Y. So what are we going to do? We're going to change that Y to an I, snowy, and then put EST. So let's flip our paper over to page 242, and it says this is independent practice, so you guys are going to be doing this by yourself, but you need to slow down and think about what are you doing. It says underline the correct adjective or adverb form. You have to think to yourself, am I comparing two things or more than two things? You have to pay attention to how does it sound. When you decide on an answer, reread that sentence with that answer that you just picked and see, does it sound correct? And before you just quickly move to the next question. Okay, let's move down to 11 through 14. It says write the correct form of the adjective or adverb. Again, it needs to have this form, the word, the base word needs to be in there somehow. So this is the word drastically. You would never say the travelers were drastically delayed or drasticallyest delayed. That doesn't make sense. So this is one of those that you're going to have to insert a word in front of drastically. So just think through these rules that we've been talking about, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send me a note to ask me, and I'll get back to you and try to explain it to you. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.